All right, how's it going? Welcome to Tome Talk, brought to you by BlackDesertTome.com, your resource for all things Black Desert. How's everybody's week been going?
Going good.
I see a thumbs up. I see it going good.
Pretty good.
Fantastic.
God.
Fantastical.
Running for a little
It's
bit,
fantastical.
but yeah.
Fantastical.
It's a me, Mario. Oh, man. So, guys, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stream. Thank you to everybody that's taken the time out to show up again and support this. It's always growing and evolving and tons of fun. Thank you for the hosts, the follows, and all that stuff. It's what keeps us going. We got some topics for you today. PM Diary was released, and it is chocked full of all kinds of crazy stuff. So we're going to break that down, go through it, and run through the highlights and maybe not so highlighty things. I know that there's some cringes when we read through it earlier, so it should make for an interesting show. We're going to get things started off with the PK system. Now, in the PM Diary, yeah, I saw the thumbs up already out the corner of my eyes. I mean, I saw it, okay? I saw it. The excitement is real today. So we know that they all went overseas and they met with the devs and they had some conversations and some shit came up. Well, PM Diary covered it in a lot more words than what I am going to. So to break it down, they basically went to the table and said, this isn't going to work for, the Western clientele. And they said, well, it's not supposed to work this way, but we need it to work this way, but we can't make it work that way. So the end result was a lot of brainstorming at a table. And they came up with, dun dun dun, drum roll please, the bounty hunter system. Come on, it sounds cool. It's bounty hunters. Who doesn't want to go out? Who doesn't want, I don't know about you guys. I want to go out and get paid to kill people. I don't care if it's currency or not. I want something for killing people. I may not be able to kill people, but I want the possibility of getting something in return for killing people. So the early adapted concept that they've got so far is basically, somebody walks up, smashes the shit out of somebody. Now, PvE Happy Mouse is pissed off that he's been killed. So he goes, I got some extra karma in the bank, sets a bounty up on the dude who killed him. Well, now this other dude is like, oh shit, my karma's a little low. I need to regain my karma. So he opens up something and goes, oh fuck, look that, there's bounties to be had and it's going to give me karma back. So now this dude's like, all right, man, I'm going to message the whole server and waste some more, resources and stuff and be like, yo, where's this guy at? Anybody got dibs on him? And he's going to run out there and fucking flatline him and come back and be like, yeah, I got my karma back. That's essentially the understanding. Hunting season is now open and that kind of solves some of the problems. Kino, I know you got a lot to put in on this and so does everybody else. Let's get the ball rolling.
I mean, I'm pretty excited about it. This is a system that a lot of people have been wanting to see in a lot of different games. You don't see it that often. A bounty hunter system. I hate this guy. I want him dead. Here we go. So I'm excited about it. It's going to be a different thing to be in this type of game, I think. I do see some ways that it can be exploited, but I'm sure they're going to go around and fix those. The thing I'm excited about, though, is I like grief. I'm a big asshole in that thing. I can go up to that PvE who's about to put that bounty on me, and I can kill him a couple times. He throws a bounty on me. Cool. That's awesome. I'm going to be killed. All right. I'm going to look for another guy who I can kill who has a bounty on him as well. So I'm going to get my karma back. And then I can go back and kill that guy again. It's going to be a fun time, I think. Of course, I'm imagining that they're probably going to have limits on it, how many boundaries can be placed, etc., how much money can be put on there, etc. It's going to be interesting. The only thing that I am a little bit worried about is, for instance, can you put a bounty on a guy multiple times in a day? And if so, what's stopping your friends from just killing him, making money, a way of transferring silver to each other? That's another thing that I'm curious about. Besides that, I'm extremely excited. You can finally go out, you can finally do something, get paid, like you said, for killing people. It's going to be amazing. Now, I see that they're putting in these bounty hunter seals as well for when you kill the bounty. It's going to be exchanged for karma, titles, and other possible benefits. I'm not sure what that is going to put in, but I'm curious to what it's going to be, like bounty hunter. I don't know. What do you guys think the title's going to be? Just plain old bounty hunter or something cool?
I think it'll be something cool. I'm really hopeful that with the way that things have been going, that they'll have something cool associated to the tag. I'm just going to throw something in there. I noticed Jouska is in the stream, and he's already said that, keep in mind this is a rough concept, and there will be many anti-exploit systems that will have to be in place for it all to work. So we'll just take that from him and keep rolling.
Yeah, I
there's.
think. Go ahead.
No, you got it. You got it. Let me go
All
ahead.
right. I think the bounty hunter system would be interesting if it does get put in place. There's some questions that are going to be raised, like, what's the limit? Like, or not even what's the limit? What's the minimum you can put? Because, one of the issues that I can see is someone going, "Oh, I don't like this guy. I'm going to put 1,000 silver bounty on him," and it's like, it's 1,000 silver. What the hell? There's going to be some issues, and no matter how many expert systems they put in, there's going to be some way of people are going to abuse it, no matter what. I'm not saying I'm against it, because at least it gives a little extra PvP motivation to it, but it's going to be really dependent on what they do via, like, what anti-exploits are they going to put in. Like, obviously, making sure that maybe your own guild can't claim your own bounty or things like that, but there's always ways of getting around that. And, maybe you have to be a certain level to claim the bounty on a certain level. That would probably have to be a system maybe put in place, because, you could end up going, oh, well, I'm just going to get my level 1 here just to go ahead and kill me. It may take forever, but I'm, going to go ahead and get my level 1 to get some money. So I think there's definitely a lot of questions that are going to arise until they get a full system in place. And, just like they said, it's going to be it's still a rough copy, so it's kind of hard to talk about how good it is or how bad it is.
Just to get back on track here, just something I'm pulling from chat from a lot of people, and I think we added some confusion immediately out of the gates, is that the way that they've got it set up, the reward for the karma system will be karma. There is an associated cost in order to issue a bounty. That's where I think the confusion's coming in. I don't want anybody to think that we're ignoring the stream. There is a bit of delay, guys, so if we're a few minutes behind in answering your stuff coming through, we'll get to it as fast as possible.
Pretty sure I said it costs silver and you don't get silver. If I did say it gets silver, that's my bad. But you get the bounty hunter seals. That's what I covered after for karma, titles, or possible benefits.
Yeah, whoever gets the killing blow actually gets the bounty hunter seal.
Also, you can only kill someone with a bounty if they're PvP level, of course. So you can't really do the whole level 1 thing.
Yeah, and the cost depends on how much karma they have. If they have very low karma, then the cost will be super low. And if they have perfect karma, PvE, for example, it'll cost a lot more. But so that'll definitely.
Yeah, I think that it's a great idea. I think it's something unique, and what I really loved about it is the fact that they showed like their whole brainstorming setup. Like that was amazing. Like with a lot of companies, you don't see that. You don't see people like how they got to where they got the thinking process at all. Like they showed an entire list of everything that they didn't do because it just wasn't gonna work. But that's what they thought of, and then they're like, okay, we thought of this as well, and this one seems to work. We're gonna go with this one. I mean, like for example, with a company called Tryon, don't burn me for saying that name, but basically they went on for an entire year without saying a single thing to their community, and there was no news at all. It was insane. So I think that this is a great to see.
I'm excited for it myself. And if I'm not mistaken, there's an NPC in the game that's going to help this out tremendously. Isn't there one that you can type in the name, pay a little bit of silver, find out where that person's located?
Yeah.
So that's going to be
costs
awesome.
about 10k silver each time, and 10 energy, I think. Yeah.
That's going to go hand in hand with this pretty well, I think.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see how they do it. The one thing I am worried about though is the gym loss. Like at high end levels, gyms cost a buttload of money, and But at the same time, though, I mean, sure, it may cost a boatload of money, but maybe that'll make people think twice from griefing people. So I guess that could kind of be its own little thing. Now that I think about it, it would suck though. Make someone salty, and then for whatever reason, say you disagreed with them, and then they're like, "Ooh, you know what? I'm putting a bounty on you," and then you get killed and you lose a freaking gem that's worth a crap ton of money.
Going into that whole topic of ganking and stuff, I'm actually going to pull a couple questions from the stream for you guys. Blaze Alafoil has asked, the only thing he's still asking himself about will be for people who get attacked by a PKer, will you be able to defend yourself without losing karma?
Yes.
Yeah.
So what's our thought process on that? And further into that, Snarkblast has also followed that up with, how does the bounty system help the person being ganked? It sounds more like an incentive to gank people now to set up bounties.
Well, how the karma system works in the first place is if you flag up, you're the person that gets to lose the karma. The person that's on the defensive doesn't lose anything for killing the person that's flagging up. So that's the same thing with the bounty hunter system, is if a bounty hunter is flagging up to kill someone, that's their target, they run the risk of their karma being lost, and that's why they get a reward of gaining karma. So that means that when they flag up, other people can come and kill them as well, if they're if they're like in a large area, for example.
True. The only issue that I can see here is, say player A wants to gank this guy over there he's looking at. He's like, oh, I want to kill the shit out of him. He's in my area. All right, let me log on to my second account, set a bounty up on that guy, so I don't have to lose anything. That's one of the issues that I see that could go on from this here.
But that's only one kill though, and they've already stated that there's a there's going to be limits based on how many times you can do it in a certain time, so that won't be an issue too much. I mean, you might see it every now and then, but it's not too bad.
Yeah, there is a way that you could farm karma, though, correct? And maybe that title.
I mean,
just
your
set
max
it up
karma
on
is
random
300k anyway, so.
I'm just looking at the other possible benefits of the thing from the hunter or the bounty seals being dropped, of what they could do to farm these, basically.
Well, I mean, what they could do is they could just put a limit, though. I mean, all you need to do is put a limit and say, like, well, you can only declare, 3 bounties an hour or something like that. Maybe even longer than that. I don't know. Or so many every 24-hour period. Have it based on the daily reset. Resets every time at midnight. So you can only have so many bounty declarations until midnight. Kind of thing. So that would help a way of people not abusing it, unless you have a group of people then sitting there going, all right, so all of us are gonna sit here and we're gonna group up, and today we're gonna get Joe Blow's coins, and we're all gonna use our limit for Joe Blow, and then after Joe Blow's done, then Katarina Caddington can sit and get hers tomorrow, kind of thing. So I mean, there's always going to be systems in place that can be tweaked a bit to be abused, but
I mean, the only issue that I see with PvP right now and flagging and all that stuff is the fact that you can lose 2% XP on death in any kind of PvP scenario, which I think allows it allows people to abuse that and just harass players, camp them in safe zones, and basically just suck away their XP.
Very true.
I mean, at the end of the day, guys, I think that the theory in lies is that at any point, if there's a fault in the system, someone is going to find a way to exploit it and find a loophole in it. Personally, I think it's going to add a different. I mean, Kinu, you and I are both collectors. We know that if there's a title to be had, we're going to be after it for some reason. Preventative measures, I'm sure there will be plenty in place. I would like to see them maybe to prevent things like abuse of the token system and stuff like that. Maybe account bound your bounties, right? Like, so I mean, if you have one character logged in on your account, you place 3 bounties in that 24-hour window. You can't just hop over to another character and be like, oh, 3 more bounties, right?
Yeah, in their description they have it as bounty hunter seals are character bound. So that is one of the things we're possibly going to do.
Yeah.
But I kind of think, it's not going to be perfect right out of the gate. Just like a new awakening for a new character, they have to tweak these things. And if if we as a community see somebody's exploiting the system some way, we need to announce it or report it as a bug or send that information to the developers or whoever, just so that they know that it needs to be fixed, and how well responsive they are, and that should get fixed quick. So
But with all the exploits in it, though, it's really something I'm excited to see, honestly. It's something I wanted to see in a lot of other different MMOs in general. It's an exciting aspect of the game. It's going to enable more PvP, true.
Yeah, I've played a couple games. Well, I played one game with the bounty system. It was pretty interesting, to say the least. I mean, it was a lot more intricate, though, like a lot more intricate. It's actually not released in the Western scene. It's a Chinese game. It's called Moonlight Blade. I don't know if anyone's played it or not. But they actually had a very intricate bounty system where you could actually go to a missions board. And you'd go to a missions board, and every few hours a bounty list would show up, and you could claim those bounties for yourself. It would cost money to bid on them, and then you would get a payout afterwards. It was really cool. I liked it, but you had a special ability and stuff like that. It was definitely nice, and it'd be interesting to see how BDO handles it as well.
I think the best way to do it overall is in order to add in that negative effect of trying to flag up on people as well, so that the bounty hunter system also somewhat works in some sort of way besides just basically just flat declaring on other players just to declare and creating just a bounty war between players. I think the best way to do that would just be make it so that whenever you flag up in PvP, you have the chance of losing XP, but the person you're killing doesn't.
Yeah,
I mean, it'll
I think that's fair.
restrict it a little bit more, but it'll add in that extra incentive to be okay, well, clearly if you're going to kill someone, if you're going to win or lose, because if you lose, you're losing an XP.
Right. Okay, so this is coming in from the screen. John Pickus has stated, I just don't see how the new system helps at all with PvP issues. It has the capacity to do more bad than good. I don't know about that. I think that there's good things coming from it. It could go either way. I mean, what's your opinion, guys?
I mean, that's the thing. This is a new system. They have to tweak it, like we mentioned. They got to look at it and see how the best way it's going to run. So you won't have more capacity to do bad than good. It's going to be something like they said. I think Joska said earlier, this is a very rough idea. So you got to take that into account. This is just an idea that they have that they want to throw into the game. Of course, they have to look at it first and test it. But once set up the correct way, I really think it's going to work out pretty well. It's just going to take a lot of testing.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot of bouncing ideas around and things like that, and figuring out what's going to work, what's not going to work. I do think, personally, I think it adds a new fresh look at trying to add extra PvP into the game. Over your guild wars, over your sieges, over your node wars, and things like that. So I think they'll be doing a lot of bouncing ideas around. And I'm not gonna lie, I would not be surprised if we see something in Korea before we see it in AEU. Because it does seem like they've been throwing some stuff at the Korean version because of the NAEU version.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be fun overall. I think the best thing to do is just kind of wait and see what they finally hash out, and if they get something for us in CBT2 or they finally implement it on launch. It's not gonna ruin the game in any sense. Even if it does become an issue, they're gonna handle it. Dom KR has done a great job in handling exploits. There was actually an exploit with the new energy potions or something along those lines where there was a bug to basically infinitely access the night vendor. Because they'd made it so that you wouldn't use up energy, or I assume that you'd be able to keep on using energy potions, something along those lines. And basically, this allowed them to cycle through all the night vendors' items and basically see everything that they would need to see. They were able to cycle through and get all the boss gear, all the ogre rings. But the thing about that though, it's not too bad of an exploit. But they did go through and they temp banned and they handle it like they always did. You know, they did a great job in damage control. They also removed the night vendor till they can fix it.
Yeah, I will say though that is one thing I have respect for Dom about is you know, when an exploits happen, they have been on the ball and fixing it and stuff like that. I remember early on in OBT where people had I forgot which exploit it was. Was it the chests? I think it was the chests. I want to say it was
probably
the chests. And like it got really bad, and Dom went in there and they were like, no. And they took the gold away, they stopped people, they permabanned players, and then they even took their names and threw up on the website and were like, these people exploited, we're ashamed of them, blah 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 blah, they're not playing our game anymore.
They did the same with the fishing exploit as well.
Well,
I support that. I support that 100%. I wish more games would blacklist and publicly announce who they nailed.
Yeah, I mean, that is one thing I have mad respect for them on, is they were just like, no, we're not going to put up with this type of you know, mentality. We're not going to put up with this type of player. You want to be this player, go play something else.
It's like any game that I've ever been in, and I mean, I think there's the majority of us have all played like shitty shooters where you see the same 10 kids rolling out new characters every week because they're just botting, right? And there's no punishment, there's no foul for it, nobody ever gets called out on it. You call somebody out, it changes their mentality pretty damn quick, because then the whole goddamn server knows who they are, what they're doing, and then the community gets involved. Let the community speak out against it. Eventually somebody's going to disappear. I'm going to move on with some more questions while we're still on the topic of the PK system and all that stuff. Vang17 has asked us, would we rather the bounty system or the old Korean CBT system?
I think it's going to be I think the old CBT system, as much as I do like it, I think I don't know if the community as a whole, I mean, I'm all for PvP, I'm all for killing people and stuff like that, and I just feel like if you add too much of it, the PvEers, as much as, you know, is what it is. I have nothing negative to say about them, but you know, the PvEers still want to play this game. You know, the casuals still want to play this game. The, you know, Care Bears, you know, to say the least, want to play this game as well. And it shouldn't be. There should be a little bit. I understand from a company point of view that you do want as many people as you can to play the game, because unfortunately, if you only cater to one set of people, then you're not going to have a popular game, and you're not going to you're not going to succeed. And less players means less people to give you money, which means then they turn around and do shady practices just to get as much money as they can. It sucks, it is what it is, but you know, unfortunately at the end of the day, gaming, you know, designing games and publishing games is still a business, and at the end of the day they still need to make money.
I think that's going to be a big part of our conversation in the second part of the show too.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm gonna chime in on the PvE versus PvP aspect of this game just because of my style of gameplay. There are weeks where I will want to go and I will want to fucking wreck people, and then there's weeks where I'm like, hey, this actually has a storyline and a PvE content that I just want to be left the fuck alone so I can go and do stuff. And there's nothing more annoying when somebody can freely walk up to you and is like, hey, dude, that dude's doing a quest. Watch us fuck with him, right? There is that side of it.
That is true. But in regards to this whole entire bounty system we're talking about, the thing is, I really don't see it coming out at launch. It's going to be something released afterwards. It really has to be. There's way too much testing that they're going to have to do. So again, this is something that we're talking about that's in very, very early stage. I'm just excited to see where they're going to take this.
Yeah. I'm going to take a moment here, guys. Keep those questions coming. We will continue to answer them throughout the day. We usually set aside a segment for straight Q&A stuff. But I don't see any questions being rolled up in there yet. It's slow today. All right, I'm going to move on into topic number 2. Dun, dun, dun. Anybody got a
Boy.
guess? Anybody got a guess as to what topic number 2? Hot topic number 2 today.
Oh
Taming
boy.
horses.
No, it's not taming horses. Anybody else?
Does it have to do with money?
It possibly has to do with money.
And possibly a shop.
It possibly has to do with money and a shop. It's not the place where you can get loans, though, I promise you. All right, so topic number 2 that we're going to take and pull straight out of the PM diary is going to be the cash shop. Dom has released some stuff about the cash shop. Here we go. So, coming in with the cash shop, you will be able to reserve one family name for a region of your choice. You'll be able to reserve one character name for the same region as your family name. Awesome. Family and character names will be unique to each region. Cool. There will be 2 regions. Surprise. I thought there were 12. I was wrong.
43.
42. It's 42. The answer to life is 42. So they're going to have 2 different cash shops. They'll have the cash shop and the mileage shop, basically. The cash shop is going to be items that are all purchasable with pearls. And the mileage shop will be stuff purchasable by, you guessed it, miles. You'll receive 100 miles a day for logging into any of your characters. You will not earn mileage by purchasing pearls. So if you guys haven't taken the time yet to go and pop over to take a look at the PM diary, can somebody get that link up into our chat so that people can go and take a look at it? Because there is a cool table in there that basically tells you, dun dun dun, what's going to be expected in the cash shop. And there's some cool stuff. You know what I'm excited that I don't see in there? I'm excited that I don't see a bunch of bullshit pots, right? There isn't an instant gratification 279,000% XP gain pot for real-time money. There's nothing stupid. A lot of it seems to be costumes, housing stuff, some stuff for your horses. It's all vanity. And then there's some minor convenience stuff like, inventory, some partial skill resets, family name changes, typical stuff that you would expect to see in that cool little revive potion. The revive potion is one thing that I'm actually really happy to see on there because some stupid kid is going to be out there and going to be like, swipey, I need more revive potions so that when I get beat up, I can pop up because I still believe that there's a fighting chance I'm going to take out that wizard or the spin to win. One of the two. It will happen. Everybody's laughing. You know what's going to happen. The mileage shop, same thing. Same stuff is typically available in there, with the exception of, by the looks of it, some of the vanity items aren't in there. The big thing out of this is at the bottom, Dom has stated, cash shop items will not be possible to sell on the marketplace at launch phase. If they decide to enable selling cash shop items at a later stage, there will be control mechanisms that will prevent players from heavily profiting and gaining an advantage by repeatedly selling cash shop items. Miles are family bound. That's a good thing. And I do know that down at the very bottom of this long PM diary, there are some other updates that were added in after the fact. I think I already went over these too. The mileage, cash shop and mileage items cannot be put on the auction house, and you will not receive mileage for pearl purchases. All right, let's open this up. Ghost, I know you got something to go on with this. We've been having topic discussions about this since this diary dropped, so let's get into it.
Yeah, I think it's actually really good what they have so far. There's a few things that worry me, but let's go with the positive stuff first. I think the biggest thing is allowing you to basically reset one skill from the mileage. I think that's great. Not only having that in the cash shop and allowing you to get that through the mileage is amazing, because now you don't have to, spend X amount of dollars just to, reset a skill tree that you got by accident. I mean, but seeing that there's no full skill reset in the cash shop kind of worries me. I wish that there was, because it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen a lot. People are gonna rage about it. They're gonna get a full-on skill build and be like, oh, I'll just reset it at 50. And then when they realize I do it one at a time, because how the single reset works is it takes one single ability from the actual tree away. So you're gonna have to buy a lot of those tokens to do a full skill reset build. Like, it's gonna be pretty nasty. So that's definitely gonna promote people to kind of know what you're gonna build early on. Because if you don't, you're gonna mess yourself up really bad. You're gonna be investing a lot of mileage, a lot of cash out pearls just into resetting all those. Now, the thing about the instant revive potion is it'll only run. You'll only see like an issue with that in open world PvP when you're trying to kill someone and then they just like pop right back up to full HP. And it's like, well, shit, I'm still like 20%. So that's the only issue with that. The other thing is, I understand why they're doing it, but it kind of makes me worry. It's the whole bait and switch tactic. It's like, hey, we'll get them all sunk in with no pay to win, and then 2 months later, we'll make it pay to win. And then it's like, well, people are already invested. It'll be like, well, now I kind of have to play because I've already invested this much time into it, this much money, and people will be very upset if they do implement it like that. I mean, I think if they do implement it, it'll be at least, I think they should do it like 6 months or like once Valencia comes out, something along those lines. Otherwise, it's gonna be pretty nasty. Basically, the community is not gonna be happy at all with that. So that's my only concerns with it. I think otherwise, everything that they have in there is great. It's awesome. Launch the game. We're all good.
Yeah, I think with the cash off items being sold in the marketplace, isn't Korea where they put a $500 limit a month? So you can only buy $500 worth of cash shop items, and then you can put that on the auction house.
Yeah.
It'll be kind of interesting if they do decide to start selling more cash shop items because they're not making enough revenue. I know they want to give their employees a raise here and there, but if they could do that where you have some kind of controlling mechanism, I don't know if it's like you can only buy one combat XP book, every, let's say, month or so. I know it lasts for 15 days, but I don't know. It's still, you still can. It's tough. I would love to keep it, where you can't sell it on the marketplace, any of the cash shop items.
Well, the thing about KR is you are limited to $500 a month, but that's only with your own account, and you can just go onto a different account and then gift yourself those items and then sell them. You don't get the mileage for it, so you don't get as much, but you can still pay to win pretty hard in Korea.
Yeah, I think Kukun, he played KR for a little while, and he bought so many accounts and just maxed out, and he had, almost to in-game or
he had
armor
plus
and whatnot.
17 in like a week.
Yeah, and that's pretty nuts. That's obviously that's too far.
I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Can I go ahead and say it? It's coming. Here it comes. I do not like this at all. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like what's in the cash shop. I like the items. I see what's there. I do not like those two comments. I really don't. Like, to me, it comes off as, oh hey, we're gonna pull the same thing we did in KR, and you're gonna play, and there's gonna be no pay to win, and then 2 months down the road, we're gonna implement pay to win. But don't worry. What we're gonna do is we're gonna quote unquote put a limit on it, a $500 limit, and we're gonna make the price be really, really low on the items. And it's like, okay, well, the $500 limit does not stop anyone whatsoever. They just buy a new account. Done. All right. Secondly, okay, cool. We're gonna put a small limit, but how long will it take before you bump the price? Before you bump the price again? Before you bump the price again? Before you bump the price again? And now you got $60 million silver costumes, and it's just completely gotten out of hand. I understand it from a business point. I get it. You need to make money. 100% understand it. But I have been sitting here slamming my foot down over and over and over again. Go freaking pay to play. You have a good game. You can do it. You can do it. And they're just not doing it, damn it.
Okay, so
Like-
I'm gonna argue with you on this one, right? Like right off the bat, and we did a bit of this last night. I'm gonna argue the fact, and I'll take the other side of the fence on this. If they go pay to play, right, after going into a buy to play game, what is that going to do to the population of the server? How many of those people are actually going to stay and have that funding or want to spend money or have the monthly budget to play this game? I know personally for me, I already dropped $140 fucking on this. That's what I expected to put into the game. I don't expect to pay any more money into it. That's my investment. If they go to a monthly term, I'm not going to be able to play. That's just going to happen. I'm going to have wasted $140. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there too. So I also see where you're coming from with the cash shop items though. It's a business model, but if they didn't think they could sustain it on a buy to play game, there should have been some forethought, I believe.
Well, okay, like I do agree with you. First off, to solve the issue with the I paid $100, you know, or $140 for the Conqueror's package. Okay, no worries. Those people who baited, they get 6 months worth of time played, right? That's a $60 value right there if they do it to $10 a month, right? Or even $15 a month. That's still a lot of money worth in game time. Game time doesn't mean crap, all right? When it comes down to it, and that's 6 months guaranteed. I mean, at that point, like, you have 6 months of not paying whatsoever, and I'm sure you can find $15. But the issue comes into is, yes, I agree. I'm only going to spend $140, and that's that. Okay, I get that. Problem is in this game with the gear the way it is, you aren't going to not be able to spend money. Like, if it becomes pay to win, you will. If you plan on playing on a competitive level, you will have to spend money. It's the only way. Like, you will get one shot otherwise. Not until it gets to a point where everybody's at plus 18, plus 19 gear, and you're sitting at your nice little plus 16 gear because you look so cute and everything, and you get one shot over and over and over again until at that point, you know, it's either you're going to quit because it's not fun, you know, or you're gonna start throwing money at it. I mean, that's what it comes down to. And you know, I've done sieges against the Koreans that have sat there and chunked money at the game. And I remember, you know, getting one shot by a freaking, you know, ranger from like, you know, 150 meters away with one ability, one simple ability that's just supposed to knock you down. And it was bam, one shot dead. You know, or a giant that was literally spinning and like half of our guild was trying to kill him, but he had 400 defense and he was unkillable. It sucks. It's not fun. And I think if they go this route, it's going to become like that. And once again, dead game, 100% dead game, because people are going to go into sieges and they'll be like, what the hell? I can't kill people who pay to win. This isn't fun. What is this? This is me just slamming into a freaking wall with my head. I may have more fun that way because I may get a concussion.
Well, if I may interject real quick, yeah, I think that if they fix the power gap, it won't be that much of an issue. You know, like it's stupid how it jumps the jump of 18. It's insane. They actually moved the jump from 19 to 18. It like basically doubles in your stats. It's so stupid, it makes no sense. But the thing about going from like a buy to play game to a pay to play game, I think that the best way to do it, if they were to do it, probably won't happen, but if they were to do it, I think the best way to do it is create a separate server, so you still have the buy to play / basically free to play, but you know, you just buy the initial game, and then like what Guild Wars 2 did, but the opposite. So you don't have the free to play area, you have the pay to play area, and then you allow free server transfers to the pay to play area. I think that would probably be the best way to go about doing it, if they were.
I'm fine with them coming out with pay-to-play servers, 100%. Like, for me, I will throw money left and right at a pay-to-play. I will even be fine with, you know, costumes on a cash shop with pay-to-play server. I'm fine with that. But it's when people can turn real-life money into in-game money, and considering how important in-game money is in this game, And the people who are still arguing it to this day, well, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean it does, and they don't understand that because they haven't played the game. They may have played CBT1, but they don't see it. They didn't play the KR version. They didn't watch that progression where it was like, okay, we're all on an even playing field. It looks good. All right, everything's fine. Bam, pay to win. Holy crap, I just got one shot. Like, what is this? I can't kill this person. This is ridiculous. It's a problem because of how important money is and how important gear is.
Yeah, no, I it's going to be interesting. I'm interested to see where this is going to go. We got a lot of questions coming through just on the topic of the cash shop and the pay to win stuff. I'm going to pull some of these questions now. Sneaky Board has asked, what circumstances do you think and would you agree on the cash up items aren't account bound? I think, you know what, in all fairness, Kenny would probably agree with me on this one. I think costumes should be something that aren't account bound. Say somebody doesn't have real life money to pump into it and wants a costume. How else are they going to get it?
See, that's another thing. I've tried looking at it, and I want to argue the fact. Take it all away from auction house. I don't want it. I really want to argue the fact and say, but yeah, these guys might want a costume. How else to do it? Unless they implement another way of getting a cash item and make it non-sellable. But it's so hard to argue against not putting something on the auction house like that for people who may not be able to buy it, because it will turn the game into pay to win, and I really don't want that for this game. I mean, I'm sitting here while you guys are talking, trying to think of ways. Well, what if they limit to maybe a count? You can only put 2 on the month, or 2 items on the auction house a month. And I was like, well, okay, yeah, that makes sense. But is there a way to maybe transfer and have a bunch of accounts doing that? Oh, well, they could put it on, buy a bunch of potions, and do a potion trade. Well, shit, that ain't gonna work that well. So I'm sitting here spinning my head trying to think of a way that they could do it, and I really don't. I mean, I want them to be able to maybe buy a costume on the auction house if someone wants it. I mean, that's a vanity item for them, but it just turns it into pay to win.
Here's a thought. I was just thinking about this, looking and listening to your idea and stuff. Maybe they have it to where they put the same costumes up on an NPC that may cost an absurd amount of silver. But it's there. That option is there. Or you can buy those same costumes off the cash shop for real life money. Therefore, you don't sell them on the auction house. You can't sell them on the auction house. But if people want to buy a costume, because there is that argument of people saying, "Well, I can't afford money," which I saving goes a long way. Just saying that right now, but whatever. That's just my opinion. But if you want it there where people who can't pay money for a costume, then you put it on NPC for where it costs an absurd amount of money and they can still buy it there, but it goes to an NPC and that's the end of that. Like, it just goes into the abyss and is never seen again. And then if you don't want to pay your in-game silver, you can buy it through the cash shop.
I think that you're onto something with that, Zemi. I would fully support an in-game currency system where people would be able to buy vanity items. I mean, why not? If you want to go spend the time and farm up 1 million silver, or whatever the astronomical price for it would be to be equivalent to a cash out purchase, why not? Why not let the little guy have the opportunity to have an in-game currency shop, right?
A new merchant, vanity merchant.
It's actually, if I'm correct, that's what they plan on doing with the pay-to-play server for RU, is they're going to allow you to basically purchase items through a in-game vendor for the cash shop.
Yeah, but are they actually having the cash shop in the P2P version, though?
I'm not sure. I haven't really looked too much into it. I've already refunded my money for that.
Yeah, I thought they were completely taking away the cash shop on the P2P servers.
I believe they are. I'm not sure.
Well, I'm saying keep them both. Have the absurd amount of money, or you can buy it via real money. Because 9 times out of 10, people will buy it for real money. I mean, but for those who can't, for whatever reason, it still gives them the option to do it. They're just gonna have to farm their asses off for it.
I mean, if RU has it, then we will. There's a good chance that we should be able to get it, especially at the rate that we've gotten a lot of stuff from RU copy pasta.
How I kind of feel about all that is if you can't afford to pay $10 for a costume. I mean, you have to be 18 to play this game. Why don't you have a job? Oh, you're in school. That's okay. You can get a part-time job. Just, it's so easy to make money. Go stream something. Go. Uh, there's no excuses. Ask your mom. You know, Christmas, birthdays. It's
I don't know.
easy.
Just for me, I mean, it's like the argument about the pay to play thing. Like people are like, I can't spend $15 a month, and I'm just sitting there going, why can't you spend $15 a month? Like this is gonna be really unpopular what I'm about to say, and I know I'm gonna catch some flack for it. But in my opinion, like if you can't spend $15 a month, you may want to rethink your life at that point on playing video games. Maybe you should go spend that extra time getting another job or something. I don't know. Like I'm sorry, and I know I'm gonna sound like an asshole for that, but like $15 ain't nothing. And if I don't understand how you can't save it, instead of buying, uh, you know, uh, a Big Mac combo from McDonald's, just buy the burger instead. Like
Yeah.
go drink some water and just eat the burger.
Okay, moving on with things, because I have way too many inappropriate comments from what was just said about this whole situation and about unemployed people. And knowing a bunch of you and your current situations, including my own, maybe we'll start a company. That's what we're going to do. We're going to start a company after this so we can fund our video gaming, and no one's going to like my ideas. So it's just, Jesus. I think at the bottom line, guys, with this whole PM diary is it's still positive. No matter, yes, there's concern, and there's always going to be concern from one corner or another in here, but it's still positive. What I see in here is that Dom has listened once again to the community, and they've gone out and they've looked for ways to better the game and tailor it to the North American needs. Am I incorrect in saying that, or do you guys? How do you feel?
No, this
Well,
is good.
they're-
They've showed us everything. They showed us Gas Shop. They showed us what they have planned out. Of course, there's going to be changes.
Yeah, I mean, what they're doing is they're basically being honest about what they plan on doing. They're straight up saying, hey, if things don't go well, we have to switch to a pay to win style instead of non-pay to win. It sucks, but it also allows them to play both sides of the fence, just like how they're doing with the mega server and the single servers. They're like, we're gonna go with the single server, but we might switch to the mega server. And now they're kind of at the standpoint again where they're like, we're not sure where we're going. We're kind of leaning towards one side, but we can still switch. So they're really just playing their options as being open, which is actually really I don't know. It's nice to know instead of a company saying, hey, we're not gonna do this at all. You won't ever see this, and then like 2 months later, by the way, we have this. It's like, okay.
I'll never shit on any company for being upfront and honest with us. I mean, I don't see them hiding anything, right?
Yeah, no, I 100% agree, and I know I kind of went on a rant there and stuff like that because those 2 points did really, really get under my skin. But at the same time, you know, I appreciate and I do have respect for them of being upfront about it. But I'm still at the same time I'm still going to voice my opinion, of that I do not like it, and I know a lot of people who do not like it. And just like Brenzel said, was like for the most part everything that is in the PM diary, it's nice to see what they're doing, and I do have high hopes for what they're changing. But those 2 sentences do bother me, and I know there is a good portion of the community that has a problem with those 2 sentences. I've talked to quite a few, and I think that a lot of us are sitting there going, I don't like those 2 sentences. I don't like that it's there, because we all remember the KR version, and we all remember how the KR version turned out and in its progression standpoint, and we don't want to see that in the NAU version.
The thing I'm happy about is they showed us everything they have. They laid out what they have planned. And we know how they are currently. They listen to what everybody in this community says, what they want changed. They take that into a high account, it seems like. So, I mean, we're all discussing this. People on the forums are discussing this. So they're going to take everything that we say into account and adjust to what they think is going to make this game survive, too.
Yeah, like they're listening to the community, and it's 100% like to this day, even with those 2 sentences, excluding those 2 sentences, all right, like I still think they listen to the community. I think they're doing an amazing job. I want to be very, very clear about that. Like, they are doing a great job. I said, I just like those two sentences.
No, and that's fair. Like, in all honesty, here's the thing about the show. Everybody here has an opinion, whether it be the same or not. A lot of the time, there's a lot of stuff that we agree on, and there are points where we all disagree separately for separate reasons. That's what makes it a good show. And the fact that we still have all this content to discuss is phenomenal. We still got a ton of questions coming through. Let's I'm gonna move into another one. Purely Arbitrary has asked, don't you think the fact that they are mentioning the possibility of the game becoming pay to win in the future, bracket players being able to sell cash op items on the marketplace in the future, bracket, is pretty much a confirmation that it will happen at some point in time? I don't honestly believe that it's confirmation that it's going to happen. I feel that that is a sentiment and statement that says, hey, listen, at some point it could happen. It's not planned to happen, but if for some reason, say, you know, like, it's like the rainy day situation, the worst possible case scenario. Like, the nuclear war is breaking out, we need a new bunker, so here's some funding.
I mean, for all we know, hold on, real quick. For what I think is, like, for all we know is that they're doing this and they're saying this just to make sure that they're covering their bases and people aren't like, well, you never said this. This came out of the blue, blah 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 blah, and you know they'll be like, well, we actually did put that in there just to let you know. Sorry, Kenu, go.
Oh no. I mean, I was gonna say a similar thing to what you were gonna say. I mean, the way I see it, it could be another way that they put that in there so we do know like that. And so they can hear what we're going to say about that. It could just be a little thing that they're trying to do to get information, to get feedback on it. I mean, I could highly see them doing something like that.
Yeah, it could be that, or it could be a total different direction that we're not even thinking of. Maybe it's not you're gonna be able to sell stuff on the auction house. Maybe instead they have a mild form of a subscription that you have, and for $5 a month you get XP bonus, you know, other small little bonuses that aren't game breaking, aren't pay to win, but at least bring in a continuous income, because that's what they need is, you know, for sure income coming in to pay all their employees.
Gotta get that money.
I mean, I think the other thing that we're completely bypassing here in that whole PM diary is that Dom has gone on the books and said, you know, if they fuck up or make a mistake, please allow them time to make the proper corrective courses and changes, which I respect. They acknowledge that their mistakes will be made. Mistakes will be made. Okay? Let's just get that out there. It's going to happen. It happens in every single game. It happens in your day-to-day life, and it just takes time to fix it. It's not saying, oh, yeah, we fucked up. Fuck it. Who cares? We're going to abandon ship. They've already gone on the books and said, we'll take care of it. I respect that decision right there and that statement in its own.
At least they're giving us a heads up, you know.
Transparency.
You know, here's my thing. Here's my thing right here. Since we got a few people watching here, this is what I'm gonna say right here. If you don't want it to go pay to win, spend all your money on the costumes right now. As soon as the game is launched, throw as much money as you can at the game. Don't let it sink. Don't let it sink.
I'm gonna roll into the next. God, Kenny, why'd you have to type that just as I was reading off the next question? Oh. Mad Villain has posed a question. You mentioned revive pots briefly. From a PvP perspective, what are your opinions on these, on how easily they are purchased in the shop? Mad Villain's worry is, without having played endgame PvP yet, is that it'll make, for example, fighting over a farm spot meaningless, as a player would simply keep reviving if they had bought enough pots. Opinions?
Yeah, if I may. I don't know, you finish.
Oh, no, man. I'm looking for opinions, because I honestly haven't gotten anywhere near this.
If you go on YouTube, you can find a video of actually Stepbaru fighting like 3 Koreans on top of a whale. He kills them so easy, right? But they just keep on reviving right on the actual spot. Normally, you'd have to go back to a node, travel all the way out there again. I mean, I would be a little bit more okay with it if they gave the same option in the mileage shop, but I didn't see it in there. I could have missed it. But in Korea, they actually have the option to basically allow you. They basically allow the same exact thing, but you only revive with 30% HP instead of 100%. Now, I'd be a little bit more okay with it if it was like 20% or 30% HP, but 100% HP is that's a lot, especially if you're in an active PvP zone, because you're just basically going from 0 to 100 real quick.
Yeah, change that, or at least change the cooldown on it so you have to wait 30 minutes before you can use that revive again. You'll have to be a little more careful.
Yeah, I think a cooldown would be perfect on that.
I don't think the revives are really a big thing. I mean, I've watched people in PvP and stuff like that pop a revive and, you know, die just as fast as I'm reviving. So, I mean, I don't really think revive potions are a big deal, to be honest. I mean, if anything, it's there for, if a good one is Nuber. If you die in the desert, you don't want to port all the way back. So you can use one real quick and be right there at Nuber, or Zaka or something like that, so you don't miss the chance of getting loot or anything like that, or guild bosses and stuff like that. But for PvP, it's really doesn't really affect PvP at all. I mean, you could see a giant still whirlwinding and they pop up and the giant kills him again. Congratulations! Now you just died twice, and now you spent money the second time. So, good job.
Well, my issue with it is, like, do you guys know if there is a revive potion in the mileage shop? Because I didn't see one. Did you guys? Because I don't have it in front of me right now.
I don't think there ever has
Yes,
been one.
there is a
there
revive
is.
potion in the miles shop. It's under the first tier
For
items.
NA.
Offered
Huh?
by
Okay.
In the
Cash
end,
and
if you
Miles.
scroll
Oh
down,
yeah,
you'll see
it
it.
is. Yeah, it is. All right, yeah, you're
Because
right.
the issue that I was gonna say that was gonna be arised is PvE, especially after level 55. Losing 2% on death is a huge amount, which is why I think that they should also remove the 2% on death in PvP, because after 55, that's an hour or more of grinding, depending on what you're doing. I mean, to lose 2% in anything, like after 55, is huge. Like, I'm going for 57 through 58. Just to get 2%, it takes me about an hour and a half of grinding, and I spend so many mileage points on those pots, so I'm actually glad that they're in there. This way I don't have to use pearls every time I die.
Yeah, especially with the bounty system. That'll nobody will ever be 60.
Yeah. Next question rolling in while we're still on topic. Totally Tim asks, isn't having pets only available for real money kind of unfair? From what I understand, having pets increases your farming speed.
Coming from a person who actually has good ping on the KR version, I tend to leap faster than my pets sometimes, so it's really not that big of a deal. I mean, it just allows you to be a little bit more lazy. But I mean, it's quite frequently. Like, I have 60 ping to the KR version, to the KR servers, and I will loot as fast as my pets, if not, faster. But it does allow me to ignore loot and just keep on going instead of having to, break my art key over and over again. But I mean, honestly, it's really not that big a deal. It'll probably save you 5 seconds per pack or something like that. 10 seconds tops.
I'm with you kind of on this one. From like my pet experience in CBT wasn't exactly super awesome either. I was we were running around and I really tried to kill my pet more than enough times because it was fucking taking up time looting when I could have already done it faster. At least that was the feeling that I had with it. I mean, I don't know once they scale up if it gets better or not, but yeah,
if you breed them, you get them the higher stuff. I think you can at max get them as a 1 second cooldown for looting. I think that's right, Ghost. Is that correct?
I think I heard the best was 2.5, something along those lines.
Oh,
maybe
okay.
lower.
So even then, it's really not.
It's more
it's
for
a
like a
convenience
min-max kind of point of view, and even then, like, it depends on how fast you're farming. If you're farming really fast, your pets won't keep up 100%. Like, if I go through a entire area, with my gear and I just one-shot everything, there's gonna be just a whole line of like just loot behind me.
There's a ghost in the cam again, buddy. Awesome.
Yeah, but there are other advantages with the pet too. Not big ones, like you said. There are vanity items. True, they're gonna grab something that maybe you didn't see. It's like you said, min max. But if I'm not mistaken, isn't there things that certain pets can do? Not huge by any means. Something
I
like
think
one can find or bark at you if like an enemy is coming or some stuff like that.
Yeah, there's
yeah,
that, but there's also one other thing, that they can get abilities. Like, you
yeah.
can get plus
Plus
XP.
one luck, plus
Mhm.
one luck and stuff like that.
If you
Yeah.
begin to morph them into another basically Super Saiyan style, they gain like XP bonuses, attack speed bonuses, these things. So I could see the argument there. But then the other side is Dom needs to make money some sort of
Mhm.
way. And let's be honest, like if the pets are like $5, just buy one at a time. Wait like a month, $5 a month. Like come on, you can't expect everything to be free.
That's my chicken nuggets,
I need
though.
my Whopper. I need
That's my
Whopper
chicken.
combo.
Oh, you can afford a Whopper, dude? I can't. That's my chicken nuggets, bro. Gotta
I'm
get,
gonna supersize that shit.
gotta
I'm
get
starving
them
right now, please
$1.99
don't.
chicken nuggets.
Well, either way, I know when the game launches, I'm gonna get T3 cats. All T3.
I'm gonna get
No matter
T99.
how
Cool
many
having the
pets
pets
I have
follow
to
you.
combine.
Kinu's gonna be the cat lady. I'm just saying. I'm calling it in
No, no, no,
advance.
no. I'm going all hawks. Every time I kill someone, I'll be like, a cow! And she's just gonna fly in and grab that loot for me. It's gonna be great.
So the only benefit really to having pets, other than those bonuses, is the dog is actually really helpful because it alerts you to someone hiding. So one example is a buddy of ours was leaving Zaka, and an enemy was just chilling in a box next to the actual doorway, waiting for them to come out. And the dog pinged him, and he just saw a giant red ping coming from like a small crate. He's like, oh, there's something in there. But if he didn't have that dog, then that ambush would have been perfect. Came right up from behind and hit him hard.
Yeah, I don't like those, to be honest. Like I don't like that that ping shit from the pets. This is one thing that does slightly bother me, just because before those came out, when I was early OBT, back when I was playing as a bandit, we support's original guild logo was a bush ninja. Because we always hid in the bushes on the side of the road, and waited for people to cross the road and jump them. And with dogs implemented, you wouldn't be able to do that anymore.
All right, I'm gonna pull another question. You guys ready? Exciting
Go for
times. Exciting times. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. All right, cool. So Zerlock has asked us, do you think the gear power gap in PvP is too large in KR, especially plus 15 to 20? Do you think it should be addressed? Because currently you can't scratch someone with plus 2 more than you at the higher levels. I'm going to roll with Zemi or Ghost. Do you want to take a point on that?
I'll take it. So I think that it is definitely an issue. I think so. Back when 15 was the actual limit, and it wasn't, it's not hard getting plus 15. It's a little bit time consuming depending on like how hard you go into it. But the thing about it is, there was always that cap that once I get 15, we're all on the same exact level, and it was so much fun, because you knew exactly what your opponent had. Either he was in 15 or he was someone fresh. But once they implemented like 16 and up, that's where things got weird, because whenever you tried to enchant up, you could also go down. And then it was like you're just kind of playing up and down, money sink. Well, not money sink, but you know what I mean. You're just losing money left and right. And then now the average cap became about 18, and players don't go above that because from 17 to 18, the stats close to double. But then they go back to normal again. So it's like, let's say, these aren't the actual stats, but let's say 16 to 17 is 4, then 17 to 18 is 8, and then 18 to 19 is 4 again. What they used to have it as was 19, 18 to 19 was 8, and then 17 to 18 was 4, but they moved it down for some reason. I'm not sure why, but I don't understand why it's like that in the first place. There's no reason to have that in place at all. I think that going like plus 20 should be hard, but the issue comes up in like when you have pay to win, for example, is people can just boost up there. The other issue is it's dependent on RNG, which does suck, because what if someone just has terrible RNG, then you're never gonna get plus 20. I think that it's good that the weapons, they don't break. I think that's what really makes it nice. If they did break, no one would go above like plus 16. That's for sure. But yeah, I think that they should address it. I don't think that they should change it right away. Maybe set up like some kind of test server where they could run tests on there. Because if you try and implement something like that, that quote unquote like normalizes gear after like plus 15, you'll need to like, create a whole new system to make it work. Otherwise, you're messing with a system that could basically ruin, you know, PvP, PvE. It can change a lot of things because they've created mobs in Valencia, in Medea, you know, zones called Hazla and Pirate Island that you need plus 16 or more gear. And then if they start messing with those gears, then if you have like, I mean, the new dungeon alone, I was in 300 defense getting 2 to 3 shot by those mobs. Like, if you don't have like plus 18 or more gear, like, you're gonna get wrecked down there. So if they start messing with that, then you're gonna see some issues.
So let's say we fix it to, let's say, just 15 is the cap, and there's no RNG or anything, and you can go all the way up to 20. Once you get to 20, because it probably wouldn't take that long, what then? Okay, you've got the best gear in the game, and you're waiting for each new patch for new content to do, whether it's, you know, a dungeon, you know, mostly all PvE stuff. There's not like, I mean, there would be, you know, new towns and new nodes to go after, but I seem like that it's really cutting down on the amount of, you know, content that you have to strive for.
I mean, the thing is like, I'm not so, like, definitely I would never say take out the RNG factor of it. Like, I don't have a problem with the way the enchanting is in the game whatsoever. But the power scale is the issue. Like, that's really where the issue lies. It's not the fact that, oh well, I can increase but then I fail and stuff like that. It is what it is, whatever. But the problem is like, someone who's in, say, plus 18 gear, right, should not be able to one-shot someone in plus 16 gear. It shouldn't be the case. That's just too much. Like, there should be somewhat of a fighting chance. I'm not, now, please don't get me wrong, I am not saying generalize gear levels. I am definitely against that. Like, it should not be equal value, because then, once again, it's you're ruining gear progression, and, you know, maybe people don't like it and stuff like that, but gear is part of content. It is what it is, and a lot of people do like character progression. Me as well. So I'm not saying get rid of it, but I'm saying it does definitely need to be toned down. You know, plus 17 to plus 18 is like a 12 damage difference just on the weapon. That's like, it sounds like a small number, but in BDO that's a huge number, you know. So that shouldn't be the case. Like, you shouldn't be getting one shot by somebody who's, you know, plus 18. So, and you're plus 16. Now, if you're plus 8 and they're plus 18, or plus even, you know, 13 or plus 14 and they're plus 18, yeah, you should get one shot. You shouldn't be messing around with those people. But when you're that close, you shouldn't be getting one shot. It should still be somewhat of a fighting chance, you know.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I would say just kind of fix the gear difference, not make it so big. Especially since, like, once you start getting towards the end game content, you're basically just min-maxing. I mean, whenever you go from like a, let's say a 5 damage ring, you're spending like so much more money only for an increase of 2 damage, going up to the +1 version and then +2. You're only getting 2 to 3 damage depending on what ring you're doing, but the cost of it is immense because you're getting that extra damage bit by bit, and at that point you're just trying to basically min-max your gear.
Yeah. So I'm going to keep moving. I'm going to go into something else that I was reading in the PM diary earlier. I don't know how everybody's take on this is, but I've seen down there voices have been confirmed. Did you guys listen to the soundbite for the voices?
Yes.
Yeah.
I see the 1 smile, 2 smiles. Zemi, obviously.
Straight face.
Straight
It was
face.
interesting. I find it weird that they're gonna make the elves with an Irish accent. That's my only like.
Yeah,
I don't know.
that was a little bit different.
Everything else though seems fine. Everything else makes somewhat sense.
Yeah, I think it's cool that they're taking, an accent from each part of the world and matching it up to that area or that region. They're getting pretty creative with it, I think. But that'll all you RPers out there, it's one for you.
All the new stuff that they have there looks pretty awesome, though.
Are you talking about the future section, can you?
Yeah, like the same section there. If you just scroll down a little bit, like that new monster. What the hell is that? A goat with a beard? Looks amazing.
Yeah, and I really like seeing this, behind the scenes kind of shots of, oh, here's our team. We're all working on, concept art right now for the new regions and showing us pics of what it looks like. Like, seeing more of that stuff and, just seeing ideas really, gets me excited anyways. I don't know about everybody else.
Knowing that there's new content being developed still and that it's still coming and that we have a while before we see it, but we know that it's coming. We have a general idea that what's coming. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot.
I mean, all that I can say is we're still waiting for that 100-floor dungeon. Just saying. We might see it in the snow region or the elf region. That'd be pretty interesting to see how they handle that one.
100-floor dungeon.
Yep, it was in their April 1st patch notes that they had a while back. It was actually I've mentioned this before, but it was one of the best things that they've ever done was they released these like immense patch notes out, like we're like that's not gonna happen on April 1st. Or like, oh, it's all April Fools. A month later, they implement like Pirate Island and Maids, which was in that patch list. We're like, oh shit. And I thought that was amazing.
I wonder if some of that they put up there just to joke around with you guys, but was actually dead serious and wanted you guys to think they were joking, which is kind of a twist.
Was it the April 1st patch note? Just out of curiosity, because
no, yeah,
it
was.
Yeah.
And the thing as well is they also mentioned about the mega server, and we're like, that makes no sense. What?
Oh yeah, we were all making fun of that.
24 channels, one giant server. That's a joke.
You're sitting there.
Like,
you think we're joking?
Two
There you go.
How to get things by your community? Release them on April Fool's Day. That way everybody's like, oh, ha, 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 funny. And then like 6 months from now, when it happens, everybody's like, oh, shit.
Well,
crap.
I thought it was amazing because like I saw what Arcade did with their April 1st thing. It was like, oh, you can now tame world bosses as bounce, and everyone's like, oh, that's so cool. They're like, we're just joking. You're not getting that.
No. That's
like,
terrible. That's a
feels
terrible
bad,
joke.
It's a great
Funny,
joke because
funny.
they had a straight face. Like, nah, we're just playing. Haha.
Please give us more content.
that sounded so sad, dude. Please give us more content. You know what? All in all, guys, I think that the PM diary that we got this week has been awesome. We're gonna start winding the show down. So if you have any last minute questions, get them in. We'll be shutting down at 4:30. So yeah. Other than that, I mean, I'm excited to see when CBT2 is going to be released. Anybody got any skepticism or well, that's the wrong word. Wow, I'm on the ball today. Anybody got any speculation as to when CBT2 is going to be?
18th.
That's what I heard.
Oh, wait a second. You got inside
I
track
heard
here.
rumors. I don't know. I
Let's
I
see
think it'll
what
happen
happens.
this year, probably.
Yeah, sometime
heard-
this year.
I don't know. I heard some people were saying February 18th, but that's not confirmed, so I wouldn't get my hopes up on February 18th. It's going to be really dependent on how many of those systems they're wanting to put in place on CBT2.
So just in case anybody from the dev team is listening, I'd like to put in a request personally, just as a favor. Could you get CBT2 rolling out sometime between the beginning of February and before the 4th week in February, just so I can actually play it this time? Because yeah, I have to go back for another surgery, and I'm not going to be allowed to computer again. I'd like to actually play it, instead of AFK Fish and hang out with Kinu all day. Even though hanging out with Kinu is fun, I mean, we get into some crazy
What are you saying
shenanigans.
there?
I'm just saying, it's not cool that you had to protect me so much and stuff. I felt like I wasn't a valued asset to the team anymore.
It's cool. Kenny the Protector.
No, it's Kinu the Dwarven King today, okay?
I need that hat.
You definitely need the brown beard Viking hat. Yeah. Oh.
I don't know. I think CBT2 should be interesting. just don't come out next week. Whatever you do, don't come out next week.
So put it out next week. I agree.
It's like we all feel entitled enough that we have an opinion as to whether they're going to launch CBT. I love this part of the show. Okay, so I'm just going to roll with a couple of quick things. Vang17, I just saw your thing pop up about any question or any news on the type of servers. Officially, no. There hasn't been any official statement released yet. As seen in the PM diary again, there's no update on that currently. I know I missed something else. I'm just trying to look for it in there. So, guys, quick topic. What do you think about the special world bosses? Are they going to be killable? Mutant Orc boss and Mutant Troll boss and stuff?
I've heard rumors that a Korean guild has killed it, but they had to use a crap ton of cannons and pull a kraken. So, but there was no loot that dropped. I don't know if that is 100% legit. It was a rumor that was around on the Korean servers. I forgot where I heard it from. Probably someone in my guild. But
same.
yeah.
The no loot part makes
But
you
there was no loot, so I don't think it was actually. I don't think it's supposed to be killed. I have personally attacked the damn thing. Most of the time, on 2 or 3 different characters with a few people, and we could do any damage to it whatsoever. So.
Yeah, I've actually reached the point of gear where they can't damage me anymore. I could stand there and just tank it, and it does nothing to me.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. I was farming ogres and I encountered the troll boss, and I walked up to it. I'm like, man, this must be somebody's daddy. So little did I know, I died really quick.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know what they're doing with those. I want to know what they're doing with the treant too.
There's actually 2 of them I found in the forest. I thought there was only 1 for the longest time.
Wait, there's 2.
Yeah, there's 2.
What?
You haven't seen the second one
Mind
yet?
blown.
Dude, all I see is gigantic legs going over. You know how much I've fought in that place? I'm busy watching arrows and crap fly by my face and then see big tree legs.
I just saw legs and I ran.
No, I'm happy if they're an extremely hard boss myself. I want something in here where it's going to take a lot of people who are very well geared to actually take it down. I mean, something like that is exciting to me. I mean, I know I talk like I like ganking people, I like fighting, I like PvP. I mean, I love PvE as well, and something like that, that's something to strive for. That is, like you said, a Kraken situation where you have to be set up a certain way to actually take it down. You have to use certain type of tactics. Now, don't get me wrong, Arcade and that whole game, that was far from any type of tactics. But on this game here, I hope that they have something like that implemented, that you are going to have to think about it before you engage, and you are going to have to go with a certain way to actually bring it down.
So I have a question to everybody that's actually watching the stream. I'm going to throw this one out here just because I know that it's been a topic and it's been discussed from time to time. And at the end of every show, I tell y'all, if you got comments, questions, or concerns, to hop on over to blackdeserttome.com, hop into the forum and post your stuff there. I want you guys to think about this. Who would you like to see as a guest appearance on the show moving forward? Hit us up in the forums. Let us know. And we'll see what we can make happen for a future show. Just because, you know what? Guest appearances are always fun. They can be interesting. I saw that kid.
42.
You want to see 42?
I want to see the number 42 and possibly a head of lettuce.
Okay, so I don't think Kinu was. I don't think Kinu was here for that conversation. Were you?
Yeah, I was on the brought up.
Yeah. So Kinu didn't want to wake up today. So Kinu said that he was going to get Lettuce, who was a friend of ours, to fill in for him, and I said that wasn't okay. And nobody else in here except for SARS knows who Lettuce is. So it was like, so you're just going to put a head of lettuce in Kinu's cam? And I think that's where we went with that. And it was like the next week will be a salad, and then a week after that will be a basket of fruit, and it's okay. Kinu can sleep then, right?
I can put some glasses on that head of lettuce. It'll be
Can-
fine.
Can you draw it a fucking face so we can
I'll
call
draw
it
a little
Frank?
face
Frank the
on it.
lettuce?
I can put like a name tag underneath it for you. I can put like carrots for arms. And I'll go full on with this shit. Broccoli for legs. That'd be fucking weird, but it'd work.
Dear Lettuce, what do you think about the cash app? It makes it ruffles my leaves.
Oh, see. It's just nope. I can't do it. And for everybody that was here last week during Doggate and the unfortunate event of Twitch not working and a bunch of other shit, we have that episode up on YouTube for those of you who weren't able to view it or missed it. We will also be rebroadcasting it at a future date. Just so you're aware, I think that was episode 6 that got all messed up, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, episode 6. We're gonna call it that anyways.
Yes.
Yes, we'll go with that. It was episode 6. No big deal.
Episode 6, the mishap.
The mishap, the ghost in the stream. Yeah. So, anyways, guys, I'm gonna wind things down. It's been awesome having you all here again. Thanks for tuning in. This has been Tome Talk, brought to you by BlackDesertTome.com. Please, guys, either hit us up on YouTube or on Black Desert Tome's forum, and let us know things like what you want to see us talk about. You want us to keep doing the same format we're doing? Are we doing a good job? We doing a horrible job? Do you hate all of us? Do you love us? We're open to some criticism. We want to see what you want. We're here because of you, right? At the end of the day, that's what this boils down to. Anyway, make sure you hit us up on YouTube. Hit the follow button. Lets you know every time we're online. We'll be back again with episode 8. Dun, dun, dun. Can we start getting cool topics, like cool titles for the episodes? Kind of like, maybe that's going too far.
The
No.
return of pay to win.
The return of Spin to Win. Why did we go back to the pay to win? Spin to Win. The return of episode 8. The return of Spin to Win. On
Where's
Black
my
Desert
Asian with
Tome.
donuts?
What?
Where's my Asian with donuts?
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
All right. And on
So
that note, ladies
freaking
and gentlemen, have a great night. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, everybody.